Y'all, I watched part one of this reunion, and the overarching sentiment that I have is that until Gizelle realizes that there is strength in her weakness, this Jamal situation and everything that branches off of it is going to continue being her Achilles heel. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. So first off, y'all know we got to discuss these fashions so we can discuss who was looking good and baby who was looking bad. So overall, I do not think that anyone looked awful, but I of course do have my favorite. So for me, tied for first place was Karen or Ashley. I really loved Karen's little mini dress with the, train. I thought it was very, very sexy and very, very, it almost looked like Asian inspired with the way that it was cut and stuff. I just thought it was really, really nice. And also, I really loved Ashley, who was the self-professed Darby's Barbie. And y'all know, if y'all watch my prior reviews of this damn season, I have changed my feelings about Michael. Okay, baby. Michael is sexy now, baby. Ever since I found out that he owned the Watergate Hotel in D.C., baby, my inner host said, yes, honey. He said, yes. I said, and that man became sexy to me. Woo, I'm trying to keep down the vomit. I'm trying to keep it down. I'm trying to stay positive, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Okay. But no, Ashley looked good. Okay. I thought her dress was amazing. I thought her hair was fabulous. And I thought, the whole look came together. Also, I do want to give a quick honorable mention to Escala. I think that's how you say it, Escala. I thought she looked good. I don't really go for the big poofs on the shoulder and stuff. It's not really my cup of tea. But I thought that the proportions of her dress and the way that it was cut was really, really nice. So she definitely got an honorable mention for me. And I don't think that it's any surprise in terms of who I thought was worst dressed. Now, let me say this. Although I did not like her pink, Pepto-Bismol jumpsuit, I did feel that it was probably one of Gizelle's better reunion looks, but it was very lazy. It just gave me very lazy, let me just throw on this jumpsuit and head down to this reunion right fast. So Gizelle, you just need to do a little bit better with your fashions, but that's not news to you, and all the ladies let you know how they feel about your fashions this episode anyway. So moving forward to the symposium that they did on Mia. So still confusion on her surgeries, and I got like 3 points, actually 4 that we'll cover. So in terms of her surgeries, Mia, I'm going to give you a pass, mama, because this is your first reunion, but there is no way that I wouldn't have been on that damn stage with a damn index folder, some sort of like manila folder, some sort of legal pad detailing the dates, times, and surgeries that I done had down to the damn surgeon's office, okay? There was so much chatter this season about your surgeries and everything that you did and didn't do that I felt that it probably would have been advantageous if you had just gotten ahead of it and gotten a listing of everything. Because you over here on this couch trying to duck, dodge, and figure out, yes, I had this, but I didn't have this, and maybe I had this, and the surgeon said I didn't have that. It was just too much, okay? If you can't keep track of all the damn surgeries that you had, that's, to me, it's indicative of a larger issue, okay? But like I said, it's your first reunion, so I'm going to give you a pass in terms of having your receipts in terms of your surgeries. But listen, I just don't understand. Did you have the clitoroplasty or a vaginoplasty? If you looked at Wendy's face, she says you ain't had no damn mommy makeover, because Wendy said I had a mommy makeover and didn't nobody touch my clit. So listen, you need to figure that out with your surgeon and come with your receipts next time. Now on to whether or not she was a stripper. This is what I have to say about this, okay? If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then baby, Aflac. It's a duck, okay? I don't care whether or not you were a high-class stripper or whether you was a down-in-the-gutter stripper, okay? In the grand scheme of things, you took off your clothes for money and men's attention. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. I'm just saying we have to call a spade a spade. And you continually trying to defend, ooh, baby, it was a high-class strip club. We didn't serve chicken wings. It was a steakhouse where we served lobster. And I didn't wear, stripper attire, baby. I wore a ball gown. Okay, well, at the end of the day, the same thing got accomplished in terms of you got money for the way you looked and what you took off. So listen, call a spade a spade. If you would just say, baby, my name is Mia and I was formerly a stripper, period, you would dead the whole issue. Going back and forth on it just seems flip-floppy. And to your flip-flopper nature, you were a flip-flopper this season, and I think you tried to clean it up by saying that, if you are in a situation with somebody, you speak to what you feel at that time. Okay, well, baby, you cannot feel a certain way about me on Monday, honey. That's, very complimentary of me, just like how you did with Gizelle. And then Tuesday, I'm the devil's spawn. Okay, it does seem very flip-floppy, but as I said, this is your first season and you're gonna have to learn how to navigate this housewives world. So I'm giving you a light pass. And in terms of your overall addition to the show, I think that you're good for the show. I think that, a housewife is supposed to be a little bit kooky, a little bit ditzy, about her business, forgetful, always finding a way to be in some sort of drama with somebody. So listen, if those are the rubrics that you have been judged off of for your housewives edition, I think that you passed with like a B+. Okay, so there's definite room for improvement, but you are not the worst first season housewife that I've ever seen. Moving on to the topic of conversation, and word on the street herself, Gizelle. Gizelle has reaped what she sowed. I definitely agree with that. From the Jamal embarrassment to the drama with your daughters to the house construction to your fashions. Gizelle, the thing that I have to say about it is that energy is never lost in the universe, right? It's to me, it's whatever you put out, it's recirculated and it comes back to you tenfold, right? So if you put out positive energy into the universe, positive energy will come back to you. If you put out negative energy into the universe, the same will happen. And I think that it's a continual situation of you coming for people's marriages, relationships, how they look, what they're wearing in terms of, Wendy and her surgeries and all that stuff that you've done over the years, people's tax issues. Energy doesn't ever go away, okay? It just gets recirculated in the environment and it comes back to you tenfold. And unfortunately, girl, that lady named Karma, she's a bitch and she came back for you tenfold in terms of what you put out into the universe. So Gizelle is in a situation that is a creation of her own doing, okay? And it sucks, it does, but you put this energy out into the universe and that's what has come back to you. So, I feel for you, but at the same point in time, you got what you gave, and then some. I do feel that if she just owned it, she would literally mitigate a lot of the stuff that she went through. If Gizelle treated that whole situation with Jamal and all of the issues that branched off of it with the same fervor and defense that she does her fashions, it would not be that big of an issue, right? Okay, and I say that to say this. It does not matter who Tootsie Rolls across this screen and tells Gizelle that she looks a hot mess or that she needs some help with her fashions. Gizelle sticks to that tenet that she wears what she likes and she goes from there. In the same manner, okay? If you just owned up to I'm unlucky in love. I make bad decisions with men. I went back to what hurt me, okay? I could have been better in the situation. I think that you would dead a lot of the attitude, a lot of the shame, a lot of the accusations and everything that comes towards you surrounding Jamal, right? Because I think, honestly, until you realize that there's strength in your weakness, he's going to continue to be your Achilles heel and the thing that prevents you from connecting to, the general public, the ladies on the panel, your daughters who are out here in these streets dating, and furthermore, your relationships in the future, because I'm a firm believer that if you don't fix the thing that is wrong with you, the thing that keeps you where you are in relationships, you're going to continue to perpetuate that behavior moving forward. So I would just say own it. Just like your fashion, Gizelle, own it. Own it, own it, own it. I did like that she sort of agreed in terms of when Andy was like, it seems very robotic with the way you approach things. And in fact, it is. And if that's your survival tactic, that's okay. And I'm glad that Robin, as your bestie, came to your defense and said, just because Gizelle is not addressing these things as we all would, doesn't mean that she's not entitled to feel the way that she does. That is true. But Gizelle has Tootsie Rolled across our screen for 6 seasons. And she's continually done this whole thing where she throws rocks and she hides her hands. Everyone else's business is up for discussion and hers is not. So at a certain point, if a method of moving in this world is not working for you, you have to try something different. So I understand that it's been her survival tactic and what's helped her to get to where she is. But I feel that if it's not working for you and it's not serving you and it's making you look crazy, girl, what's the harm in trying something different? And that's all I'm going to say on it. Now, moving on to the hot mess of this episode, or I guess the hot mess part 2, Candiace. And her mama and husband drama. And I said this in a prior video, but I think that Chris needs something to do of his own that has nothing to do with you, and that would solve the issue between you and your mama, okay? Because unfortunately in our society, when a man is dependent on his woman for his livelihood, it's viewed not that he's supporting her or that he's in her corner or that he's, managing things on behalf of her. It's that he's riding on her coattails. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that it's perception. And unfortunately, in the reality TV world and in many other things, perception is 9/10 reality, right? And so, unfortunately, the way it comes across on the screen is that he's riding your coattails to your promised land of this entertainment thing, this reality TV thing, this thing of you trying to be an overall entertainer. And like I said before, he needs something of his own that has nothing to do with you, and that would solve the issue between you, your mom, and Chris. Because at the end of the day, your mom is very messy, okay? She is, okay? But in her messiness comes a defense of you, right? So at the center of Mama Dorothy's messiness is that she loves Candiace and she wants the best for her. Does she go about it the best way? Absolutely not. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. Okay. But at the core of it, it's because she loves her daughter and she doesn't want her to be taken advantage of. Now, I do not think that Chris is taking advantage of her. Okay. I honestly, y'all, from the interaction between Candiace and Chris, I really feel that because Chris's restaurant was a victim of the pandemic and he pretty much lost his footing in terms of what he's supposed to be doing or what he's going to do next, that Candiace was trying to extend him an olive branch and say, listen, I have this new thing that I'm doing. I'm branching out into this area. I need help with it. I know that, all you know about is food down to the damn restaurant and chopping up onions and making people food and feeding Gizelle and XYZ. But you comfort me so you can be my husbander and manage me as I go into this next chapter of my journey in terms of trying to be this entertainment star. So I think that her reasoning for bringing Chris into her ethos in terms of what she's trying to do was admirable. Unfortunately, when you open yourself up to public consumption, you have to take the good with the bad. And it just sucks that she's getting the good and the bad from the general public, but also her own mama. So there's room for improvement in every aspect here. But I really do feel that if Chris got something that was solely his own and had nothing to do with you, it would slowly but surely fix the issues between the three of y'all. Now on to the low budget symposium between Candiace and Mia. And I covered this in a prior video. Just in terms of it's a state of connotation versus denotation, right? So connotation is the way that the words make you feel, and denotation is the actual dictionary definition of a word, right? So Mia is sort of operating in the dictionary definition because she's saying that the video was low budget. Is she right in saying that? If you're trying to be friends with somebody, absolutely not. But if you're just saying that you're a new artist, okay, your budget may not be the largest right now, so ipso facto, therefore as such, it is low budget. I understand that. However, if you're trying to build a relationship with somebody, it's probably not the best thing to come after something that they're passionate about in that manner, right? And so on the flip side of it, Candiace is upset because the connotation behind low budget is that, it's not up to par. It's not adequate. It's something that's not good, right? And Candiace has pretty much put all of her eggs in this music basket, and it really means a lot to her. So I understand the fervor with which she came after Mia for that comment. And I can honestly, y'all, I can excuse her saying the first low budget thing about Mia's mom, because honestly, and y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you think differently. But I think the first time that she called Mia's mom low budget at Gizelle's reasonably shady event, I don't think that she knew the full extent of Mia's mom's prior issues in terms of, you know, the drugs and the history that she had with Mia when she was growing up. I don't think that she knew. So I can give you an allowance for bad behavior one time, because I don't feel that you knew and that you weren't cognizant of the implications of calling the mother low budget, right? So I understand that. However, what I can't defend is you saying it again, knowing what you know now. And I think they'll probably get into this more next episode, because it seemed to be some like foreshadowing in terms of her saying it again. I also do have to come to Candiace's defense in a sense, just regarding that comment that Mia made, that if her mother relapsed, that it was solely on Candiace. Absolutely not. I believe in contributing factors, but I think it's very wrong to place your mother's sobriety and her pursuit of that entirely on Candiace's head. Now, could Candiace have been better in terms of her language and what she said? Absolutely. And could it be a contributing factor? Yes. But I don't think that it's fair to put that whole thing on her head. So like I said, I try to call a spade, and I can go up for you in one instance and call it like it is in another instance. But I think the low budget symposium was really just a matter of language and connotation, denotation, and Candiace really not displaying why it affected her so much until later on in the season. All right. And to my last point on Candiace, her mouth is indefensible. Although I tout myself in trying to be the most rational, level-headed person that I can and try to see both sides of a situation, it's very hard for me to defend the things that Candiace says. Now, don't get me wrong. One of the things that happens with the Housewives is that you have to be a wordsmith. You have to be a person that can handle themselves in verbal altercations, right? But I think that where Candiace goes sideways is that she does do a lot of fun shade, and I think that there is a piece of her that knows how to modify her language based on the situation. But honestly, y'all, most of Candiace's interactions with people when she's in a combative situation, it leans more towards being mean-spirited. And I think that's the problem, because she tries to cut so deep, and it's almost like a situation where her mouth goes off before her brain can catch up, right? And I also think it's another problem in that when she's confronted with it, such as how Andy confronted her with it on this reunion, she doesn't see anything wrong with it, and she always thinks that it's in defense of something that someone said against her, right? So I think there's some definite introspection that needs to happen there, because like Andy said, if you're the common denominator in all of these situations, then you have to bear some of the weight of the stuff that's coming at you, right? Like, we can say that the whole, if we're going to take it back a year, the whole Monique situation was a fluke, right? Because I think the reason why people were so torn is because it was a one-off incident at the time, right? And so people were like, well, she was wrong for putting her hands on her. She was wrong for, Monique was wrong for putting her hands on her. Candiace was wrong for how she, came at her and was goading her in XYZ. So that was an isolated incident. But this season, if we're fast forwarding, Monique is gone, okay? She's no longer there, and you're still here. And all of the hurt, all of the, Gabrielle Union Post-it notes that you were posting around saying that you're okay, it's gone, and it's been replaced with rat-a-tat Candiace. And people are like, okay, well, hold up. Were you, downtrodden, hurt, and couldn't go on like last season? Or is this the real you this season? So I think it's the inconsistencies in how you display who you are to the public that keeps causing people to not understand how you go about things, right? And baby, I was with Gizelle when she said, once you said that second low budget thing to me to Mia about her mom, if she clocked you, I would have literally been at home saying shit be happening, okay? Like, sometimes you cause things on your own, because if you are the common denominator in every situation, then it can't always be someone else's fault. And words have power and they strike up emotion in people. And not everyone was raised to orate, as you say, and not defend themselves physically, right? So like, I'm not condoning violence. I'm just saying that Candiace's mouth can be so reckless that it can pull that energy out of you, right? So I don't know. I definitely think that there's room for improvement. And the thing that kills me about Candiace is that she's so talented, right? And I don't say this lightly. Like, if we take Kandi Burruss out of the situation from Atlanta in terms of like, you know, someone who was a musician before they came to Housewives or whatever, I really feel that Candiace is one of the most talented housewives in terms of, you know, music that has come across our screen. I have never bought a housewife song, and I bought her new song Benefits off of her EP Deep Space because I loved the song so much. She's so talented, and I don't want it to come to a situation where people can't separate Candiace the reality TV star from Candiace the artist, because Candiace the artist is dope, and Candiace the reality TV star, she has the makings of somebody that can be dope, but she just has this sort of Achilles heel in trying to be mean-spirited and messy with her mouth. And I just wish that she would think more before she speaks, right? Because words have power, and I don't know. I just feel like if you don't change the things that have always brought you to the same situation, you're destined to keep repeating them. So that's all I got to say. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. But I really feel like that's all I really want to say on this episode. So if y'all liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, bring on part 2 of this reunion because my mouth is watering and I'm ready for more. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.